Well, hello there. This is a little video that Paula and I are going to do about addictions and dependencies, food dependencies and addictions. So the first thing I'd like to say is that one of the definitions of addictions would be an incongruency between thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So if you think about it, if your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are all that, I want to be free of this stuff, there's going to be no conflict. If your thoughts are saying, yes, I must do this, your emotions are saying, oh no, I won't, and your physical is saying, well, yeah, I could do with it, but it won't work, and it's the same if emotionally you want to stop, physically you want to stop, but if your brain is saying, but, it just won't work. So we can have all kinds of levels of addiction. It's a very complex subject. We're going to try and cover it in a few minutes here, just in relation to Andromeda. So, and physically, you can have an actual chemical addiction. So it's like having a drug that becomes a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. If you can imagine that your body was a jigsaw, and one of the pieces, instead of being part of your body picture, suddenly became nicotine or alcohol or cocaine or something instead of your body cell, it means that that bit of jigsaw makes the picture complete. So if that bit of jigsaw is suddenly removed, your jigsaw's got a hole in it. So in this case, your body is saying, hey, what's wrong? It's suddenly missing. Give me it back, quick. So your body craves the thing again. So what we have to do here is persuade the body that we have to recolor the bit of jigsaw, that it doesn't show the drug anymore, that it actually shows your healthy tissue. And then your body perceives it all as well, and it doesn't crave this anymore. Then emotionally, if you've got an emotional addiction, you just need something to feel whole again. Now, it could be an addiction to a person or a behavior, or it could be a substance, whatever. But you're feeling incomplete, and therefore, without that thing, you don't feel a whole person. So you just need to have it or them or whatever. So thoughts are very addictive, aren't they? We can suddenly find that our brain is running away with us. So usually people find that they just can't stop thinking. And you can fixate on some substance or habit that helps you to numb the mind. So in mindfulness, for instance, we actually deliberately going into studying and perceiving the breath or the heartbeat or something in order to fill the attention so that the rest of the mind actually shuts up. So if you've got an addiction here, it means that your thought process is landing on something all the time to try and blot out the pain or to quieten the mind. And if that happens to be a substance, so it could be also, it could be some unsuitable behavior as well. So anyway, there are secondary reasons for addiction. I smoke to avoid my greatest fear, which might be to put on weight. So loads of people actually are very reluctant to stop smoking because they know that in the past, as soon as they stopped smoking, within a couple of weeks, the pounds were going on. So it's a very powerful motivator or demotivator from stopping smoking. Or you drink to reduce the amount available to my alcohol-dependent partner. So, the bottle of wine comes out and you think, well, if I drink half of it, they're only drinking a half bottle instead of a whole bottle. This happens. I might be really under pressure in my job, or I'm trying to achieve something and I really want to be up there. So I have extra coffees and I have Red Bull, or you're really going bad, you'll be going into cocaine just to give you that lift, give you that extra energy, give that fire in the belly that helps you get the job done. So all kinds of things that can happen that can explain the phenomenon of addiction. So I'm going to hand you over to Paula now, because she has been just doing a little bit of detoxing herself and working on a certain amount of low-level addiction. So here you go, Paula.
Hello. I have been working on detoxing my heavy metals, just to say this before we start. And as you can see from my scan, which I did earlier this morning, I do have a lot of gone into red and dark reds. But last week I was completely green. And so I've decided now, if we're going to detox the heavy metals, I'm going to detox the sugar. And I am completely addicted to chocolate. For me, there's definitely an emotional element. I don't binge on it, but I eat all day, and I could eat all day, every day. I would panic if I don't have it with me. I have a stash in the car, I have a stash in my bag, so that I'm never without it. And so it definitely, and I've been struggling with it for a while. So now I've made a decision. I'm starting today, and we're going to give up the chocolate. And not so much, I'm not going on a sugar-free, it's the chocolate basically that I'm after. For secondary reasons for the addiction, as Rafe mentioned, I use it as like a comfort. I don't think I get to the point of numbing. It's nearly, I go to work, so I need chocolate, or I had a hard day, I need chocolate. And so Lent is starting tomorrow, so that's another reason. So from the people that I have worked with so far, what I generally look at, I've done a normal scan, what we call a normal scan here, and I've added a few things in. So the few other things that I've done is the adrenals. I'm looking at the thymus, the adrenals, and the nucleus of the hypothalamus. And if we look at the hypothalamus, you can see already that it is out of balance here. And this would be the flight or fright and the energy, just the need, I think, for the addiction. The adrenals, we looked at those. The reasons why we look at those is the adrenals determine in the pancreas, isn't it? Rafe can tell you a bit more about that.
Yes, well, the adrenal activity, if it gets depleted, will mean that they control the secretions of insulin from the pancreas. So if the adrenals are a bit exhausted or distracted on something else, your blood sugar level will tend to drop because of increased insulin production, and that gives you hypos, and then you need some sugar or chocolate to replace it and get you feeling better immediately. So very, very often you'll find particularly reactive hypoglycemia is actually due to adrenal insufficiency. So we do look at the adrenals here very much so.
So if I can go in now, so the detoxing, the way that we're going to approach this addiction is that we're going to help the body detox the sugar toxins out, and hopefully then the body won't crave it as much. Recent research has shown that if we can do that, it makes it a bit easier as well. So
when the body is working under an overload of heavy metals or something, it's distracted. It can't work at full capacity at all. And one of the things that it'll do to help it to cope with all this extra load is it'll demand more sugar.
So from our point of view, then, if somebody came to me to be treated, what I would do is I would work the liver. I would go in and write down to the very cell level, and I would strengthen it the whole way up. I would do the same for the kidneys. Now, I'm not going to do that now, because that's quite a simple process, and I think everybody can understand how to do that. I then would the gut is so important. We would work the gut as well, and again, everybody can do that. But if I go in, what we're going to do is we're just going to look at toxin levels in my liver there and see what is actually going on. So we've gone right down to mitochondria, and we go into our wee toolbox as a test standards. I like to call it a toolbox. And we come up with, let's see, clear everything. And we're just going to have a wee look at allergens just to see. So with quite a few going on there, I would look at, and this actually, I am absolutely so impressed at the metal detox that has happened. We've actually been, that's another video that we have, is that we have been keeping an eye on my body and how the body is pushing the metals out. And I'm astounded I've been trying to do it.
And literally within about 12 hours of taking the first tablet.
Absolutely, and I approached it because I was in a very good, fit state, and my energy was brilliant, and just as I had to take a couple of tablets, pills, for a whole day, and from the moment I took the first tablet, I could feel the toxins coming. So, but we'll go into that. So now, as you can see, there's a lot of toxins going on in my body, and it is highlighted leukemia is under 0.2. But I feel as if I could get these sugar toxins sorted, that the body will come back into balance a wee bit more easier. So, well, I'll not go into what I would do there is I would strengthen the liver the whole way up. I would strengthen the kidneys, as mentioned earlier, and I would look in the intestines. But the one that we want to show you today, which is very, from a kinesiology point of view, is the thymus. It's so much to do with emotions. Mm-hmm. So if we go into the thymus, which I did earlier, and we go down the different layers, and just to save time, I did it earlier, and we go into our toolbox again, and we have a wee look. And so what I found, which was really interesting, was brain processes. And what comes up is nicotine withdrawal. Now, I'm not a smoker.
Nope.
And
never have been.
Never. Well, I might have smoked maybe an odd cigarette when I was drunk, but that was a long time ago. But this threw me, and I was going, what's that about? And but my father was a smoker, and a lot of and I think his father before him, and a lot of my family. And funny enough, I have 3 brothers who all smoke, and a sister who used to smoke. So it is definitely running in the family. Mm-hmm. So what we have, we've sort of discussed and we've researched is that there's a possibility coming from a homeopathic point of view that this has been passed down. Mm-hmm. And if I can sort out this, and we actually kinesiology tested it, and we cross-referenced it, and we did priority, and this is priority.
Yeah.
So I think instead of putting the cigarette in my mouth, I would actually do the same with chocolate all day, every day, and it's only a wee bit, but I sort of need it. So what we can do in this case is, what we're going to do here for my addiction is we're going to go into reprinter, and we're going to actually put it into pill use. And how we do it is, and it doesn't need inverted because it's a withdrawal anyway, and we reprint it. And so this is going to help by really getting the energy of the nicotine out of my body. In turn, this will stop me craving sugar.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see over the next few days what happens with this.
Yeah. Because which was brilliant to discover. So this is another one that I do quite a lot, is I go into the bio-specific table, then I go into the complex P38, and this is all to do with emotion, because behind there's so much research done on addiction at the minute that it's not necessarily what you're addicted to, it's what the emotion behind it and what you're trying to get away from. So with those 3 ticked, what we come up with is self-confidence, and it's under, look at how many are under the 0.2. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of work to be done there. But so what I'm going to do as well to help me with my addiction is and we did it earlier rather than to waste time, is that we re-imprinted the self-confidence, great fear, reduced dependence, intuition and passion. So we re-imprinted those into an emotion.
But it's important to say we inverted the great fear because it was a negative emotion, whereas the others are positive things that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so with the aspect of those two, the nicotine withdrawal and the emotions, that's going to be my emotional support sorted out. And again, I think that's brilliant. I'm really quite excited to see how that's going to work out, and to see, because I have done Lent once before, but it's terrible. I become a nutter. Some people would say I'm already a nutter, but I can smell the chocolate. I dream about it, and
my goodness,
you couldn't look at me. So I'm taking a diary, and we'll see how we go from here on that. Again, I would come out of this and I would really strengthen the thymus as well, right the way up, on every level. We also, the other one that I would do would be, from an addiction point of view, but I just love the hypothalamus, and I would strengthen it, and the pituitary. So the plan, the treatment plan is that I'm going to treat myself as a client. So I'm going to do this today, strengthen all that, but I'm not going to treat myself for another week. And, because a client can't treat himself every night, which we can do because we own the computer, but I'm coming at it as a client, and to see how we go. And
which is great, you're keeping a record of everything that's happening.
Yeah.
So you're proving the treatment, and you're proving the thing as the old homeopaths would have done. They would have taken cyanide or something in a tiny dose and written down exactly what cyanide did to them as they were approaching death. And you're doing the same, because you're actually observing all the things that are happening as you're in detox. Yeah. And this detox is actually coming from the computer, from the Andromeda.
Yeah, I mean, I was blown away. I work with this computer every day for the last year, and I'm blown away at what the actual the metal detox and how it's going. So I'm very excited that it is just from the computer that we're working this. I know you're going to be able to look at me over the next couple of days.
I've got to work with
it. Maybe you should start taking a diary too. Yeah. So again, I would treat the hypothalamus, and I would also treat the adrenals. Whoa. Now another one that is brilliant to do for addictions as well is the auricular acupuncture. And so we would, from a auricular acupuncturist point of view, we would actually treat that with the needles, and especially the Shen Men point. And so again, I think if somebody came to me the first time and they're looking to give up something, I would do all that, but I would leave a couple of minutes at the end and do this as well. I mean, there's a lot of other herbs that you can use. I mean, we can make homeopathy from this as well. And Nux vomica is brilliant as well for alcohol and smoking and any sort of coffee, even coffee addiction too. You've got lobelia, and they say it's very good for smoking. There's an awful lot that we can do, but if we keep it to that, it'll be very interesting to see how this nicotine withdrawal does.
So watch this space in a week's time. So we'll end this video for now, and there'll be a follow-up.